Hey folks, Will Buxton here, and with the start of the 2025 NTT INDYCAR Series just around the corner, with new driver lineups and teams hoping for big things, here's what I'll be looking out for as I embark on my first season in the Fox booth. Okay, let's start with Ganassi, where Alex Palou is heading into the season looking for his third consecutive title, something only Dario Franchitti has done in the modern era. Sebastian Bourdais back in Champ Car, and Ted Horn way back in the AAA era. If he takes it, it'll also be his fourth, putting him alongside Franchitti, Bourdais, and the mighty Mario Andretti, and behind only Scott Dixon and AJ Foyt on the all-time list. He is so consistent, almost perfect, but he's never won on an oval. Then there's Scott Dixon, the Iceman, the guy who can win the seemingly unwinnable races. You just can't discount him, ever. Not from race wins, not from a tilt at the title. The greatest of his generation, one of the greatest of all time, and still as keen today as ever he was. You count him out at your peril. And Kyffin Simpson. This will be just his second season in IndyCar, but there is no better team and no better teammates for him to learn from as he sets himself up to become a challenger, not just for consistent improvement, but to get himself in the top 10 on a regular basis. Over at Andretti, there's the feeling that 2025 can be the year that they step up to challenge the big two. There have been some big changes in team management, of course, as Michael Andretti has stepped aside, and how that will affect the day-to-day running of the team will be a key storyline in 2025. Colton Herta had a stunning second half of 2024, where that consistency paid dividends as he ran home second in the championship, and he enters 2025 very much as the guy with the momentum and the driver that most are expecting to make an immediate impression and take the fight to the likes of Palou. Kyle Kirkwood is a driver I can't wait to see evolve even further in 2025, and this really could be a breakout year for him. If Andretti hit the ground running, I'd expect him to keep Herta within his sights, as he too is hoping to launch himself into a championship assault. To do that though, he's got to start doing what he wasn't able to in 2024, and that is mark a return to victory lane. And as for Marcus Ericsson, well, he had his own share of pretty bad luck in 2024, but his pace was never in doubt. Many are seeing 2025 as a crucial year for him in his partnership with Andretti, and he'll need to recapture that race-winning form to showcase his talent on the biggest stage. Foyt Racing has two drivers everyone is going to be keeping their eyes on for slightly different reasons. Santino Ferrucci has marked himself out as a no-nonsense racer who loves getting his elbows out and really doesn't mind upsetting his rivals. He's wickedly fast on ovals, but he's also got the aggression to be a challenger on road and street tracks. The biggest mover and overtaker of 2024, that proved his pace was never a concern. But his first pole at Portland proved that he's also on the path to getting his qualifying sorted. And in David Malukas, they have a racer tipped for the very top. Almost everyone expects him to take the step up to Penske if and when a seat becomes available. He didn't have it easy in 2024, of course, as he recovered from his early season wrist injury, but his late season resurgence, I think, has set him on a really strong path for 2025. And that technical alliance between Foyt and Penske sees Foyt entering 2025 with high hopes. PREMA, and it is pronounced PREMA. It stands for Preparazione Macchina, which means preparing racing cars, and that's what this team does. They are new to IndyCar, but they're not new to racing. The team has 4 decades of championship-winning pedigree across a variety of European championships, in which they've averaged a team and a driver title every single year of their existence. They are a serious outfit. But the public split with IndyCar's own Einstein, as Callum Ilott called him earlier this year, Michael Cannon, just weeks before the championship starts, is a hurdle that they really could have done without as they make their debut in the championship. Ilott, of course, knows the series well. He's a really high-regarded driver within the paddock and brings knowledge and experience to this rookie team. He'll be working alongside Ryan Briscoe and Romain Grosjean, two names that I'm sure IndyCar fans will be familiar with, working behind the scenes and aiming to aid the team in its formative races just to simply get on the pace. And like Eilert, Robert Schwartzman is a former Ferrari junior and a guy renowned for excellent racecraft. This is someone who I really feel could become an absolute superstar of IndyCar. Give him an opportunity, he will take it with both hands. I really cannot wait to see how this team and its drivers fare in 2025. Meyer Shank have a technical partnership with Ganassi, and talking to the drivers, it feels almost like it's going to be this 5-car team with debriefs taking place all together. As such, it could be a monumental year for them, who feel two fast and well-liked drivers. Marcus Armstrong, of course, moves over from Ganassi, and he's transitioning to hook up with a crew that he knows only too well. That should really ease his move and see him hit the ground running to improve on his sole podium thus far at Detroit last year. For Rosenqvist, this will be his 7th season in IndyCar, and with 6 poles and 6 podiums to his name, he'll be aiming to add to what is, at the moment, just that single career race victory. I mean, it's not going to be easy, given the strength of the field, but Meyer Shank seem incredibly confident of a great year ahead of them. Juncos Hollinger continued their giant-killing exploits in 2024, and in 2025, they're going to be aiming for more of those headline-making moments. Stingray Rob showed glimpses of brilliant pace in 2024, and Juncos feels like the kind of team where his potential can be untapped to extract the maximum from him in what will now be his 3rd season in the sport. And IndyCar fans will be delighted to see Connor Daly secure the full season ride alongside him. One of the most popular characters in the championship, his last podium in Milwaukee came from some gutsy racing, something that Daly is renowned for, and that's his objective this year. Keep that bit between his teeth, maximize the occasions for glory, and write those Juncos Hollinger headlines. At Arrow McLaren, there were some big changes at the team last year as Gavin Ward stepped aside and Tony Kanaan became de facto team boss. Their drivers actually spent a lot of time in the McLaren F1 garage at the end of last season, so how much of the positivity aligned with McLaren winning that F1 Constructors title will shift into the IndyCar paddock? Pato O'Ward is due a standout season, but he needs to find the consistency that's brought the title to his rivals. Quite incredibly, he's now the team's veteran driver and will be the focal point of their championship challenge. How he handles that responsibility is going to be fascinating. Nolan Siegel, also a really interesting story. A young kid who made a step up to IndyCar halfway through last season. He doesn't have the time or indeed the ability to just hide away and learn in the shadows, because the lens is going to be directed straight at him in a team with big ambitions, and that means he has to prove his value to the team and his ability to learn and grow every single weekend. And Christian Lundgaard, we know, is already a race winner, a known quantity in IndyCar, but still very much the coming man. His pace, I think, could see him emerge as a powerhouse at McLaren and in their season, but how the team plays that alongside O'Ward and his ambitions is going to be key to how their season shakes out. Rahal always seemed to be there or thereabouts, consistently netting results to bring about a strong team finish, but the headline results feel like a rarity. In Graham Rahal, they have one of the most experienced drivers in the field. But how much will he be focusing on his own season, and how much will he be thrust into the role of mentor for his young teammates in 2025? Devlin DeFrancesco returns to IndyCar after a year out, and he's keen to prove that his absence in 2024 was just a blip. He's never had a top 10 finish though, and that is something he will seek to rectify from the very first weekend in St. Pete. And in the third car, Louis Foster, the young British Indy Next champion. He dominated Indy Next, the junior category, and he honestly looked phenomenal in race situations. It is a huge step up, but Foster, for me, appears more than ready. Carpenter Racing has a new look and a new momentum heading into this season, and that's spearheaded by the headline signing of multiple race winner Alexander Rossi. His experience and his racecraft are going to be a key facet of this team's new direction and their momentum in 2025. They've always been a threat at the 500, but their goal is to take that raw pace and transpose it across the season. And in Christian Rasmussen, they have a sophomore who we've seen in the top 10, but who, like his second-year counterparts, needs to take that experience learn and grow every single weekend to firmly establish himself in the series. Okay, the big dogs, Penske. Let's be honest, the early part of last year was overshadowed by the push-to-pass controversy, something which hung over the team for most of the season. But on balance, you'd have to say they have probably the strongest driver lineup of any team on the grid. Newgarden, McLaughlin, and Power is a mighty roster. Josef gunning for his third straight Indy 500 win, and he would be the first driver in history to do that. That, of course, is his goal. But so too, a return to the title for the first time this decade. Will Power may be coming to the end of his time with Penske. It's his 21st season in the sport, and at 43 years of age, he knows the clock is ticking. But he's the only driver to have interrupted Palou's run of championship success, and you can't ever count him out. He is still one of the very best in the NTT INDYCAR Series. And then there's Scott McLaughlin, who, if he can piece together the consistency and combine it with better luck, I think he should absolutely be in the hunt for the title. There are few more rounded racing drivers anywhere in the world, so make sure that you keep your eye on him. And last, it's Dale Coyne, who left it late, but with just days to go until the group test at Sebring finalized their driver lineup for 2025. In Jacob Abel, they have a rookie who is renowned for his racecraft after impressing in Indy Next. He'll be aiming to continue his fight with fellow rookie and Indy Next champion Louis Foster for Rookie of the Year honors. But more than that, 2025 is going to be a year of learning and growth for both the man and the team. Let's not forget, this is a squad which is known for giving new and exciting drivers a shot. And alongside Abel, one of the most exciting young talents in the field, Rinus VeeKay is already a race winner in IndyCar and a huge fan favourite. Personally, I'm delighted he's back, as he's the kind of talent that could do real wonders for Coyne in 2025. So a really promising lineup that is sure to be both popular and pacey. And that's your rundown of the runners and riders in the 2025 NTT INDYCAR Series, and what I'll be looking out for when the season kicks off in St. Pete on March the 2nd.
Up next, it's the Firestone Grand Prix of St. Petersburg, Sunday, March 2nd at noon Eastern on Fox.